Hi everybody, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Here to do another video, and it's kind of a cloudy day here and overcast, but no rain. Well, it was sprinkling a little bit earlier, but it's cleared up now. But it's a pretty warm day, so it's nice not to have the cold weather. So I hope you're all doing well out there. And so today's video is called Spiritual Warnings and Gifts from the Universe. So I'll start out with warnings. And today was a little interesting. I was on my way somewhere, and I only had so much time to go, and wanted to go have a little break. And a hawk came out of nowhere and almost hit my car. And I saw its wings flap, like it was like, I saw the wings just spread out, and it was actually pretty beautiful. But I knew it was a warning telling me not to go. It was protection. And I immediately pulled over, and I already knew before I looked it up. But if you look up the meaning of a hawk or a bird almost hitting your car, it's a warning. It's a protective measure, an alert. So I turned around and didn't go. But it was an obvious warning for me. And, I was really looking forward to having a little break, but I guess not. But the universe does this with me. It's protection. And, God, universe, whatever you want to call God, looks out for me, sends me warnings. And bees also do this with me, and I've mentioned it before on my videos. They'll fly right in front of my face, bumblebees, and I've had honeybees as well. One time warned me of a beehive that was underneath one of my big pots. Didn't know there was even a hive under there, but I get these warnings to help protect me. And another situation that happened, I was on my way somewhere else. Well, actually, even before that, I was on my way somewhere with a family member, and we were going to take her car, which was smaller. And I said, no, it's probably better for me to take my car, which was an SUV, because we were driving at night, and I didn't want her driving. So I drove, and we ended up hitting a big buck on the way. And if that would have been her car, I don't know what would have happened, because it was a Cavalier. But when that buck hit my car, I saw its face in my window, and the horns and everything. And I looked directly in its eyes. And I knew, I didn't listen to my intuition at the time after this situation, which I should have, because it didn't turn out very well. But the deer hit my car, and the whole body of the deer swung back and hit my door. The whole body hit my door, and it dented it in like quite a ways into my, along my side. Well, alongside my body, pretty much. So I know if we would have been driving the Cavalier, it wouldn't have ended well. But I remember looking at this deer in the eyes, and it was looking right into my soul, right? And I could feel it. And it was a warning. So after the situation, after we got out of the car and looking for the deer, couldn't find it. Called the police, made a police report. They couldn't find the deer as well. But it was a big buck. Big, horns, big antlers. So must have survived. But it was a warning. Spirit was trying to teach me a lesson. And I didn't listen. This was a few years ago, but I'm just giving you an example of how the universe works. And so that was another situation. But this is how I get directed on my path, because I am connected with the spiritual realm. I'm connected with the animals and the insects and birds and, whatever. But Spirit likes to direct me in certain ways when I kind of veer off, my path. And so today I was pretty disappointed. I wanted to go have a little fun, and I got it's bugging me. And so much for that. So I turned around and came back. So anyways, I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I saw this hawk, looking at me in the eyes, and it was a clear sign, like, turn your car around. I was like, okay, yep. And I got a little mad, because like I said, I wanted a little break, but I knew there was something else going on, and I need to listen. So that's what I did. I just turned my car around. So those are a few examples of my world and how Spirit works, how God works in your life. When you see the bigger picture, when you see the natural world from a higher view, when you let your angels and God and your guides direct you to the right decisions. And when you veer off your path, they set the record straight. They make their point. Turn your car around. So I was like, ah! I literally screamed a little bit. I was like, I just need a break. But on my way home, I was like, thank you, Spirit. I'm grateful for your protection. I'm grateful. Even when you're upset, if a situation doesn't work out, you always say, I'm grateful, because that was protection for you. So now I'm going to go to spiritual gifts, and I've had so many over the years, and one time I was driving around an island area in Marquette, and I saw an owl cross my path. And so I got out, and I had actually videotaped this. It's on my page, but I didn't know what kind of owl it was. And a man on a bike was riding by, and I kind of flagged him down, and so I could show him the owl, and he told me it was a barred owl. And I got so close to it. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. And I mean, how often do you get to see an owl up close? You know what I'm saying? But I got a really good video of it, got some really good pictures, but it was literally right underneath me on the branch and just sitting there, just staring at me. And it was amazing. It was a gift. It was an incredible experience. Another time I was in my house with the patio door open, and a bird literally flew through my patio door, the open door, and started flying around in my kitchen. And I mean, that doesn't happen very often either, but that was pretty cool. I've had hummingbirds fly right up to me, right in front of my, face, or within a few feet in front of me. And they'll just hover, staring at me. And or they'll zoom right by me, and they'll be real close to me in my flowers. I've had quite a few experiences with hummingbirds, and that is such an amazing experience when they're so close to you like that. Just to see their wings, just you can't even see them flap. They're so they're flapping so fast, but it's a really cool experience. Oh, man, I've had so many great experiences. One time I was on the beach in a grassy area, and all of a sudden a bunch of deer. There was 3 or 4 bucks, with big antlers. They were all walking in a line, and I was already on the beach area, and I saw them coming towards me. So I stopped, and they came within feet of me, and they stopped for a bit staring at me, and then they walked right past me. And I got some great pictures of them, and that was a few years ago as well. But when you are close with spirit and work with the spiritual realm, animals feel comfortable around you. They know you're not going to hurt them. They feel a connection with you, and it's a gift, Ducks. I've had so many great experiences with ducks. And actually, a few days ago, I was down at the beach, and they swam right in front of me, came up on the beach. Literally within 3 or 4 feet, and just walking around, and I was taking pictures, and I was talking to them. Man, I've some great gifts over the years. Bees landing on me. I've had birds land on me before. And I've mentioned before that I used to be terrified of bees, and now, there's like a respect there. They know I'm not going to hurt them. And, I could be in my plants and flowers. And, this was before I moved, but I could be in my plants and flowers, and they'd just be buzzing right by me. And, I just don't feel like I'm scared of them anymore. I know they're messengers. I know they're very powerful and important here, They pollinate our flowers and plants, but it's such a beautiful connection to the natural world when you have this connection with spirit and connection with the earth and the natural world and everything involved in God's world. And you just feel grateful, because when you're not paying attention to the outside world, you don't feel those magical, you don't get to, witness the magic of it and the beauty in it and the connection. And you're kind of winging it, down here on your own. But when you connect, you will be shown. You will be shown the way, be directed in certain ways, whether you're on the right path or not, whether you're not supposed to be going somewhere or not. Even though it wasn't really a bad thing today. It was just something I like to do, but Spirit's like, nope. Okay, I'm listening. So I'm trying to think of some other experiences that I've had. Eagles. Eagles are amazing in my life. Protection animals for me. Mentioned on here as well. I was on the Mackinac Bridge not too long ago, and I almost got sandwiched by a semi. and pushed into oncoming traffic. And as soon as my vehicle stopped, and I was like this, up on the median, the separation, the cement that separated both sides of the bridge. But yeah, my car was like sideways. And I looked up and I saw an eagle flying over. And that told me I was being protected. My angels were protecting me. I've had many eagles, gosh, in the last, I don't know how many years, fly by me. And actually, when I moved, I got pretty emotional and went down to the lake before I left. And once in the early day and then right before I left. And both times I saw an eagle along the lakeshore. And that was like a comfort, sending comfort from the universe. I've had so many great experiences with so many different animals over the years. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And when you connect with your higher self, with your soul, because we are not the body, we are the soul. And when you act in the spirit, when you can see in the spirit, when you do this healing work, do your shadow work, open up your chakras, you do all this work on yourself, the natural world will communicate with you and help protect you. So I want to add, I was trying to think of some other experiences that I've had. Oh, I would say about 2 skunks that came really close by me. And actually, I've never really looked up the meaning of a skunk. But I could have got sprayed a couple times, but I didn't. I'm going to have to look that up after the video. But my point being is that when you have this connection, you will understand how God is trying to translate and communicate in your world and direct you on where you need to go and what you shouldn't be doing. And also give you gifts, also give you amazing experiences and magical experiences with the natural world. And I have crows. Oh yeah, there's another one. I have crows. Crows send messages to me. Crows are a big part of my life because they communicate in so many different ways. They'll direct me on warnings. But you'll have to look up the meaning of crows as well. But I know when I was taking a ton of pictures for many, many years, I would see so many different animals come so close to me, and it's just incredible, guys. When you connect, you will attract goodness into your life. You will attract magical experiences, and spirit will help guide you through the animals, because they are on the high frequency. They are on the God frequency, and spirit works through everything to guide you in your life. So this is just a different perspective on what my world is, and some of the things that I wouldn't say some, but sometimes you want to do something and it just doesn't work out, but it's for your highest good, and spirit will let you know. And sometimes you're taught lessons as well, Oh my gosh. Spirit has a sense of humor sometimes. I'm telling you. He really does. I've had some pretty interesting situations over the years, but Spirit has a sense of humor. And when you experience it, you have to laugh. I mean, you may get upset at certain times, but you gotta laugh because he does. So anyways, today I didn't get to go and take a break for a little bit, but whatever. It is what it is. And I know it's for my highest good. So anyways, that's about it, guys. And I just wanted to show you a little of my world and how the animals work in my life. And it's so enjoyable. But when I'm sent a direct message, through the animals, I know I gotta do something. Gotta make a decision, and it needs to be the right one. Because God is always looking out for me, and I gotta follow the direction I'm being shown. So anyways, that's about it, guys. And I will make that video about the list I had mentioned that I was gonna make from yesterday. I said I was gonna make a list of different social media channels that helped me on my journey that you might want to check out. So I'm working on that, and I don't know when I'm going to post that, but so hopefully that will help you on your journey as well. So, okay, that's it for today, and this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Peace, love, and light.